I bet you've been stuck in transit before. Sometimes, you may even think that your transit system has to be one of the world's worst. But I'm pretty sure that what you experience is like a 3 to 5 on the scale of smooth riding to I think that this is the end. So to show you what you're missing, here are some of the worst transit systems in the world that will make you feel sorry for people. We start our tour of delays and overcrowding by looking at somewhere pretty close to home, Toronto. Toronto may be known as the sixth, but that's probably referring to our scale from earlier. Although Toronto is a well-developed first world city, it seems that subway does not make up for it. It does look pretty pathetic for the 2.3 million it has to serve daily. This means more delays, more crowding, and more having to walk past street performers and pretending that they don't exist. Aside from these issues, the subway does have some pretty bad health risks as well, with a recent study showing that Toronto Metro's air quality may be as bad as Beijing's air quality. And Beijing really isn't a good example. Alright, that's enough for North America. Now let's head straight into the land beyond. Tokyo, Japan may be the world's hotspot for shopping malls, new technology, toilet robots, but their subway is one you should rather not go on. Tokyo's subway is actually pretty advanced and well put together. What makes this place close to a living hell is the amount of people. Tokyo's subway is the biggest system in the entire world, with 3.16 billion annual users. To put that in perspective, a billion is a super duper big number. To add to the experience is a certain occupation you only see in big boy subways. Say hello to the pusher. What does he do, you may ask? Well, he pushes feelings of happiness and joy onto all of the commuters. Just kidding. His job is to physically cram as many people as possible into each train car during periods of peak rush hour, by means of violently shoving, of course. Maybe a career option for some of you. Manila's transit system isn't that bad, if you look at their bus and metro system. However, their other method of transport is closer to Mad Max Fury Road than an actual transport system. I'm talking about the jeepney. In World War II, the US Army found themselves with a problem. I'm talking about having too many excess jeeps after entering the Philippines. So, naturally, they just left them there. So, again, very naturally, the Philippines decided, you know what? Let's just take these 5-ton vehicles meant for advanced warfare and convert them into public transportation. So they added some stuff, mainly some large pieces of scrap metal, and thus, the design for the jeepney was born. The jeepney is different than regular buses since, because of its open rear door design, it can stop anywhere it wants. This is great if you're a driver, but not great if you're literally any other person in this situation, since it means that jeepneys can block traffic, create jams, and even block other jeepneys to make more of that sweet dough. Also, the jeepneys have extremely low gas mileage, which is great if you love toxic fumes. And on top of all that, there are no seatbelts. Have a great trip! Last, and definitely least, we have Detroit. No, it's Mumbai. Definitely Mumbai. Mumbai is one of those places which they want to be big city and population hotspot, but it doesn't have the resources, workforce, or world recognition to do so. So what happens when you mix low infrastructure with hundreds of millions of people? The worst transit system in the world, that's what. A trip through Mumbai's local train stations can be described as an experience. The station goes from looking like a New York subway system in the 80s to a Syrian aid shelter to a very large executioner platform very quickly. Now, the experience may be a little bit uncomfortable during the normal hours of the day, but that all changes when the rush hour hits. The rush hour. Prepare for thousands of people pushing, shoving, and throwing each other on the ground, all just to get on the regular train. As you can imagine, the train cars can't hold thousands of people, so only the select VIP can make it onto each train. Because of this, it is very common to see people hanging on the side of train cars just to get to their next stop. You heard me right, hanging on the side of train cars. Also, you may be wondering how the doors work, since one closing of doors would probably crush a few people. Well, the Mumbai local train answers this problem by ditching it altogether. That's right, the trains have no doors. So if you're in one of these trains, you better hope someone just doesn't push you off and you get turned into roast beef by the third rail. And this uncontrolled mess shows in its statistics. Approximately 9 people die every day just because of the Mumbai local train. Yep, I think we found our 10. Well, I think that the lesson here is don't visit Mumbai and keep your war jeeps to yourself. Happy commuting.